Yeah, I know. I screwed up big time. Way she goes. Actually, correction. My air fryer screwed up big time. Notice how black that is? I put it in for freaking 10 minutes in the air fryer. Stirred them around, put it in for another 10 minutes. Didn't realize the countdown clock wasn't ticking because it's a mechanical switch that's completely broken. And now I got chicken so black that its lives matter. I seriously can't wait for the friggin' day when I can take that air fryer outside and make the video. This is the last time you ruin my freaking meal, you piece of crap. Hashtag Phillips air fryer. That thing's just potato soup. It's spent, it's done. We're gonna beat the shit out of it. It's gonna be great. Anyway, guys, how's it going? What's really happening? And what's going on? I didn't do my usual intro, I'm sorry. It's freaking dark o'clock outside there. I needed some food. I was gonna make eggs and that, but then I saw the chicken wings in the bottom of the fridge and I was like, you know what? Let's take some digestive enzymes and down those. Worst case scenario, I farted a lot while sleeping tonight and I end up with Oreo the Chihuahua versus Oreo the Pomeranian. Saves on a haircut. Now I thought about for tonight what to do is to clear this out, but then I remembered something. It's dropping down to minus 35 tonight and that's just gonna freeze right back up. So you know what? I'm gonna be lazy. I'm gonna leave it alone, let it do its thing. I'm gonna deal with it tomorrow because Tuesday and Wednesday, it's gonna be plus 6. So have you ever had one of those sneezes where you actually injure yourself? Like, I mean, it's bad. So I'm on the phone with a client today, helping her fix her phone, when all of a sudden, I get the tickle. So I reach over to the iPhone and go to hit the home button, and it doesn't turn on right away. So I'm tapping on it like, oh my God, it's coming, it's coming. Finally, it opens up, and I go to mute the mic because my headset doesn't have a mute button on it. If I press the button on it, it hangs up the call. So I go to hit the mute button on the phone, and it's on dial pad mode. So instead, I hit 1. Client's like, hello, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still here. And before I even had a chance to hit switch to get to the mute button, I exploded. I totally sneezed everywhere. And it was loud, it was violent, it was brutal. I think you probably just heard my guts go off. Now my right shoulder hurts. So anybody who thought I was gonna hurt myself fasting, no, I hurt myself sneezing. Let that one marinade. So I'm sitting there minding my own business, right? Because I do that a lot. I don't really socialize, you can tell. I talk to myself in my kitchen all the time. And I got to thinking, it's pretty sweet, right? Quiet life, talk to a camera in my kitchen. For some reason, people tune in to watch this stuff. That's even better. I just stepped on a dry crunchy and turned it into dust. Awesome. Thanks, Oreo. I appreciate that. Anyway, all of a sudden I got a message from Jason and he's like, hey, we want to start a radio station at the house. We want you to be our IT guy for that. I'm like, okay, I don't know shit about broadcasting, like nothing. So I don't know anything about starting a radio station or anything. So I got to do some research on that. He wants to basically set up an entire studio. They have a room in the house, but they're going to do it. I'm like, okay. And he wants to basically do like a Pride radio. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll figure it out. And then he comes across and he asks me, so what are you doing on the 26th? That's Clifford's concert. And I'm like, I'm going to Clifford's concert. Oh, wrong one. And he goes, do you feel confident enough to go on the stage with geriatric? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, if you guys are planning stuff, you need to talk to me about it if I'm involved. And he's like, oh, I just need you to hold the camera. Like, I thought they were going to get me to act, which is good that they're not, because I can't act to save my soul. Like, how I am on the camera is how I am when you meet me in person. I'm no different. I'm not a different guy. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers out there who portray this happy-go-lucky guy, and then you get in their face, you meet them in person, and they're like, hey, how's it going? I'm all shy and stuff. I'm just me. I'm me on camera. I'm me in the real world. I'm myself no matter what, you know. I'm a smart ass. I can't help it sometimes. I come up with some pretty good one-liners on the fly, not all the time. So I thought he was gonna ask me, man, that shoulder's shot. I thought he was gonna ask me to act, but no, I just had to hold the camera, so that's pretty sweet. So it looks like I'm doing something now. I don't have to go and watch the concert because now apparently I'm part of the concert. Beauty. I love last minute planning. So I realized today I shot 3 videos. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. And I got to thinking, you know, what if I did 2 uploads a day? One at the regular time slot, one at 5 p.m. How would that do? Then I got to thinking, 90% of my subscribers don't even tune into the one show I put up. So I'm just gonna keep it 1 video a day. That's probably a better idea. And that way there I can push through. And then in the slow times, I can just pump the brakes and focus more on me. I think that's an awesome idea. But I promise you, they're not all gonna be walk in the kitchen and talk. Right now it's like that because it's minus 1,000 outside and I don't really partake in winter activities. So this is my winter activity, talking to a camera. It's kind of funny though, because last year in the winter. Started back doing the everyday vlogging. And then come summer, I kind of stopped. Can't do that this year. Got to keep the momentum up. Got to have fun. Got to do good stuff. Got to not let people take me down. Got to live it to win it, you know? That's what I say at the end of all my videos. That's got to be a must. That's got to be a way of life. I think so anyway. So tonight, something else I tried that I've been dying to try, but I couldn't try because I was fasting, was the dried prosciutto. Oreo's been getting a bunch of it, and I haven't had any. So I decided to try it out. You know what? Dried prosciutto is freaking amazing. Holy crap. Guys, seriously, if you have a dehydrator, go buy a pack of that shit. Just throw it in there. Let her rip for 6 hours at $1.40 to $1.60, and you got yourself a tasty jerky treat. Let me tell you, it's awesome. My next idea is I got some of that pre-cooked bacon from Costco in the freezer. I'm thinking about dehydrating a whole shitload of that, making some bacon jerky. That could be the bomb. I've had bacon jerky from Jack Link's. Problem is, they candy coat it and it's covered in sugar. That's no good. You don't want candy coated freaking sugar snacks that should be keto. You want some keto snacks. No sugar, no carbs. You know, unless you're not eating keto and you don't give a shit, then by all means, buy the Jack Links. But I'm thinking that could be straight up fire and probably one of the best things I put in my face hole. So we're gonna have to give that a rip one day, for sure. Just got off the phone with Nikki. Abruptly, the call dropped. Turns out the battery died on her phone. Yup, that happens. Oh well. So we're both stoked for the weekend. She's coming up. We're gonna party. It's gonna be great. That clip you saw, I just had to film it 3 times because the audio wouldn't work. And then I realized all I gotta do is unplug and replug the mic, and then it works. Go team, GoPro. Media Mod, you're amazing. Love everything about you. Such a perfect little accessory for every GoPro out there. Media Mod, you're so excellent. You're awesome. Good job, Media Mod. I'm proud of you. So right now, as you can see, I'm using the Sony lapel mic and I got it plugged into the wireless Go. And I was clipping it on my pants or whatever, but then I realized I got a pocket on my shirt. So I got the Media Mod, the Go wireless Rode Go thing plugged in here because it's just easier that way. I love easy. You take that however you want. So yeah, like I said about the drain, I'll deal with that tomorrow when it warms up. I'm just gonna hair blower the joint and blow out the ice, and then she should be fine until it freezes again. I have a battle plan for that. I mentioned in the previous vlog. We got to get that pipe flowing downward more. Problem is I know when Dad installed it, he ABS or whatever, so contact cemented the pipes together at the elbow, which means separating that, I don't even think it's possible. I might have to buy a new down tube and a new elbow and just cut the shit out of there and then make it work. Because if the elbow, if the downspout going to the other end was on an angle, the pipe running underneath the house, the one going across here, is on an angle. So the only, or across here, sorry, is on an angle. The only one that isn't on an angle is the initial one coming off the sink going down, and then it goes up and then down. So we raise it up about an inch. The water should just flow freely despite the cold. We shouldn't get too much ice buildup in there next winter. But like, this winter's not gonna last. This winter's almost over. So a couple shots with the hair blower, she'll be back to normal and unthawed and good to go. And we'll have it drain again. It's just because when it drops down that cold, the cold air comes through the properly insulated wall, which is sarcasm on my point. And that's what happens. So yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. Old houses, man. Old houses. They may have character, but they also have a lot of weak flaws, like the lack thereof of insulation. It's a big problem. It sucks. So I've been looking up air fryers because, well, this thing here, like, look at it. What the heck's this black shit coming out of the bottom? Why is it oozing like Slimer? There's no reason for it. It's just making a mess. I don't understand why it's doing that. So I've been eyeballing a couple deals here and there. I want an oven style, kind of like this jobby. But this is not an air fryer. That's just a convectional oven. Mind you, that thing's going in the garbage, so whatever. Just wait until spring and I'll put it at the side of the road and let it go, let it go. Let someone pick it up for scrap metal. But yeah, the oven kind, I like them better than these egg kinds because, like, my buddy has one, actually my cousin has one, and he said clean up on it's easy. Any of the grease drips down, drips down into a pan, you just clean the friggin' pan and away you go. You know, if it's a lot of grease poured into a freaking old jar of whatever, let it build up, and then when the jar's full, throw it in the garbage. Away you go. But this thing here is a bitch to clean. A lot of the features on it are gone. Like the bell used to go ding when it was done, and it doesn't do that anymore. The timer on it sometimes doesn't engage unless you force start it. So it'll start to move, and then you got to hit it, and then it really starts to move, and then we're good. But yeah, that's been one of the problems with that thing this year. So I'm pretty sure that air fryer, yeah, you know, it's served its purpose. It's end of life. It's time to retire it and get something different. And I need an air fryer because, like, let me tell you, I've said it multiple times in the past. If you're a bachelor, the number one tool you should have in your house is an air fryer. Second can be that Instant Pot. They come up clutch if you want to do something like a roast. You know, you can drop a roast in an Instant Pot and cook it for 8 minutes. And it comes out amazing. You know, you can do potatoes and roast and carrots and all that. 8 minutes. And you got Sunday dinner ready to rock. Sure beats the shit out of the oven with 45 minutes. Let me tell you a little something about that. So another thing I've been doing is still contemplating the whole gaming computer. Now I know, guys, you're like, Adam, you're doing a lot of thinking about this. Like, why do you think... When it comes to a big purchase like a new computer to do video editing, which I desperately need, I always spend a lot of time researching and trying to decide. Like, Intel's got some new processors out that are pretty good. That Ryzen I have is a first gen 1600 and it's still kicking ass. It's starting to show its age though, you know. But I could go and get a 3600 or a 3800 or a 3950, stove it in there, upgrade the BIOS, and we got a whole new rig. Because the 3900, 3950s are, well, one's 12 cores, 24 threads. The other one's 16 cores, 32 threads. That opens up a whole new world. All right, I don't need a lot of video processing power for Vegas because Vegas only uses the video card when it's processing VFX like crossfades and other video effects in the thing. Other than that, it's all CPU compute that gets used for rendering. So the more cores you have, the more chores you can get done. So I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? Amazon had the 3950 or 3900 anyway, 12 cores, 24 threads, and they had it on for $600. Now with it comes a brand new cooler, which will basically, the brand new cooler opens up 2 more banks of RAM. So I could buy 2 more 8 gig sticks and bring the system RAM up to 32 gigs and then just keep the 1060 in there for video editing and we're golden. And then I can take the gaming computer and I would probably move it down here into the living room and hook it up to the TV and let that be my gaming for down here or whatever to run on the TV. Or I might take the 1070 out of that, put it in the editing computer, and then put the 1060 in that computer, bring it down here, let a Bitcoin mine down here, produce some thermals while I'm upstairs with the other 2 computers and doing that and doing what I'm doing up there. And then for the gaming computer, I was thinking about the 3060 is going to be used, or the 3070, whatever I end up with, will be used strictly for gaming. It will not be used for video editing or anything like that, and Bitcoin mining, of course. But I won't be using it for anything beyond what it's intended for, is either A, producing me money on Bitcoin, or B, for producing video games for the live streams. Now, I mentioned this on the live stream. Once summer comes, and you guys noticed it last year, I never live stream. I was always out doing something, whether I was riding the bike, fishing, or if I was home lifting, which is where Fish Lift Cycle Never Stop came from last year. But in the winter, it's like I don't really want to go anywhere because it's too freaking cold, unless I go to a friend's house. So I just kind of start live streaming in the winter. In the summer, it usually gets too damn hot in that room that I just don't want to be in there. Mainly because the computer's running and I can't vent the heat fast enough. So I don't know. We'll see what happens next year. Maybe I'll stream in the summer. I say next year, I mean by this summer. But it's highly unlikely that once the weather gets good, I'll want to play video games again. But you never freaking know. Something else that's kind of cool is the Ford government announced that we're going back to step 2 or whatever. So 50% occupancy in indoor and all that shit is going to happen. And there's rumors that he's going to be lifting the COVID passport. Now, the only thing that pisses me off about that is the amount of money that was spent on producing the software for the COVID passport and the deployment for the COVID passport, and they're just going to axe it. That's money well wasted in my mind. So that kind of bothers me, but at the same time, whatever. It's like, it's done is done. You know, it's like when the Wynne government screwed up with that gas plant in Oakville, and everybody freaked out and they had to relocate it, but they didn't have the funds. So they ended up selling the company that I worked for, Onterra, which was a Crown corporation. They sold it to Bell for a measly $2 million when the network alone was worth $25 million. Not smart on their part. The worst part about it is we all thought about using our retirement money, because we all had about $100,000 to $200,000 in our pension. We were going to use that and buy the company out and keep it going, because Ontario was producing profits in the zones that we were running in without third-party resale. And we only ran in 4 zones, but those zones, we were the only game in town. So if you wanted internet, who are you going to call? You're going to call us. So we were thinking about doing that, but the government shut us down and said, no, we're not going to sell it to you. It's not going to happen. Forget about it. So we just basically abandoned that pipe dream, because I'm pretty sure that deal with Bell was already signed. We knew it was going to Bell the moment she said, we got some interested buyers. We're going to do some interviewing. We have some stipulations. And basically after the purchase, they had to keep the company running for at least 2 years. And then once after that, they could do whatever they wanted with it. This is the reason why I took my buyout. I had the choice. I could have either stayed on for 2 more years, worked there, or taken the buyout and leave. Now, if I would have stayed on working with them, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. Mainly, I was getting, like, when I left Onterra and got my buyout, I got 26 months worth of pay. And I invested a bunch of it into retirement and all that. So that was pretty sweet. If I would have worked for the 24 months, the guys who did that were let go with no severance. They basically, and the ones who stayed were the ones who weren't going to get as much as I did, and as a lot of the other guys who left did. Now, I know there's a couple people who wanted to leave and couldn't because they're too low on the seniority pool. And I was one of the ones who lucked out. I was the last one. Like, everybody above me said, yeah, I want out, I want out, I want out. And I was the last one who, if I said no, then the next person in line could have said yes. And that's it. This is the crew. So I chose to leave because financially it made more sense. Work for 24 months for a company that I couldn't stand anymore, or leave and get 26 months of pay and then get another job. And like, I had a couple of Joe jobs there that were kind of bullshit, but they taught me something that don't try and stray away from what you're good at. Get back out there, find a job that you're good at. And then I landed the job with the contract company doing IT, and now I'm full-time with the company. So all in all, that worked out nice. But I question if I would have worked there with the if I would have did the 24 months of working there, and then if I would have been able to get this part-time job. And if that was the case, I would have been working there until 2018, till the end of 2018, and then 2019, if I got on with the company I'm with now, would I have been this far progressed where I would have stood a chance to get in full time? And I have a very good feeling the answer is no. So this is why I think the path I took was the better path. And I'd love to see an alternate universe where I did the opposite, to see what the heck I'd be doing today. Like, I'd love to see that big time. And it's funny, you know, I see a lot of people trash talking Doug Ford, saying that he's doing a horrible job. And I'm like, do you realize no matter who got in there, if it was Doug Ford, Andrea Horvath, or Kathleen Wynne, they all would have done a horrible job in someone's eyes. All right. Being a politician is the shittiest job ever, because there's millions of people and you can't please everyone. You have a limited budget, because remember, these government agencies, they're not out there to make a profit. They're out there to basically run the province with what funds they have. Sometimes they got to make cuts. Sometimes they got to do other things. It's going to piss off one group while it makes another group happy. And especially with what happened in 2020 with the pandemic, no matter who's in charge, everybody's going to freaking hate them. the moment they feel like their liberties are being taken away, because in the eyes of the government, they think they're doing safe things, like by restricting your visiting people, your gatherings, by shutting down certain services, because at the time there was no way to make them safe. You know, in the beginning of COVID, we had no idea what the heck we were dealing with. A lot of people were scared shitless of it. So no matter who got in, they would have been hounded. They would have been just treated like shit. And that's why I say, like, you know, Ford did a great job for what little that he had to work with. Would anybody else have done such a great job? We don't know. And I'd love to see an alternate universe once again where, like, Kathleen Wynne got back in. Mind you, if she got back in, our hydro would still be through the roof and she'd probably sell off more crown corporations, like the LCBO, because that was the next one on the chopping block with her. She was going to let the LC go privatized, which could have been good or bad, not sure, because if the LCBO goes privatized, that means companies, like pretty much anybody who wants to sell liquor can, because it's no longer under the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. It's now open source, so like if Circle K wanted to sell liquor, they totally could. I thought you were in the entranceway. The cat was just messing around my ice fishing tent, and then she came down the stairs. I think there's a disturbance in the matrix. But anyway, yeah, she wanted to sell off the LC and sell off the Alcohol Gaming Commissions of Ontario and make them all privatized. And that could have made things interesting, because that means that casinos could be privatized. Don't have to be under a corporation. Alcohol could be privatized, not under a corporation. So, you know, if Circle K over there is selling beer at $2 a tall boy, but the beer store is selling them at $3.25 a tall boy, who do you think is going to get the business, right? Competition's back. Cheapest price wins. Every grocery store in town can sell it, not just the ones who applied for a liquor license. And currently we only have 3 as far as I'm concerned, or that I know. Metro, Independent, and Sobeys are the only 3 in town that can sell liquor, which is weird because Sobeys is right beside the liquor store. So it's only reason why you buy beer from Sobeys is because you really don't want to walk across the street and go to the liquor store because you're kind of lazy, but it is what it is. But no, I think I took the right path and I did the right things, because now I'm back on track. Can't wait to see my paycheck if I get it this Thursday, to see exactly how much I'm getting, so I can see exactly how I'm going to strike my plans. Because, you know, one thing I definitely want this year is a kayak for fishing, but my main goal is to build a nest egg, like get some savings rolling, pay down some debt. That truck is going to be paid off in April, so like I got 2 more, well, a little more than 2 months. April 28th is when I bought it, so I got a couple more months of payments, and then that's $450 a month in my pocket. So it'll be kind of nice there too, because I'm making a lot. Like right now, what I was making on the contract, I'm making double that now. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Like this summer is gonna be amazing. I say that a lot, but last summer was kind of rough because I didn't have money, and in order to produce good YouTube videos, unlike the ones I'm producing now, you kind of need some funds behind them. So like if you want to go camping, well, you need gas, you need propane, you need a place to stay, you need, you know, like you need all this shit. And if you have no money, you can't afford to buy it. So you really can't produce the content. Like a lot of these bigger YouTubers out there, you know, their videos can fund their projects. Kudos to them. I'm not knocking them. That's 100% awesome. If you can make a monthly check that you can take and turn around and put into more videos and make an even bigger monthly check, then that's pretty sweet. But this channel ain't gonna do it, so I gotta sink my own money into it. And I'm all for that to an extent. Like I'm not about to stop paying my bills and putting all my work money into freaking making YouTube videos. But you know, if I want to do a camping trip, or if I want to go somewhere, you know, save up some money and go somewhere, then that could very well happen. But yeah, it's a lot of things people don't realize. They're like, oh man, you should go back to Mexico, you should go back to Dominican. You had such a good time. Well, not when you're broke as a joke on coke and you're literally deciding between putting gas in your truck or food in your belly. Can't really do that. I'd love to go back to Mexico. Love to go back to Dominican. Nikki and I were talking about that. We're probably going to end up doing a trip there because she wants to go and study the way they cook. And I kind of want to charter a fishing boat and go and get on some saltwater fish. That could be really fun. So you never know. You never know. That could happen. That could be a vlog in the future. Not saying this summer though, because holy piss. She's got a lot on her plate and I need to pay some debt down. So I'm not putting out as much money to stay afloat. And yeah, get after it. But anyway, guys, I'm rambling on now. I need to get to bed. My right shoulder's killing me from that sneeze today. I don't think it's my shoulder. I think I pinched a nerve from the violentness. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. If you got anything you want to hear about, anything at all, let me know. And until next time, guys, remember, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.